One, two, three. We want to welcome everybody to Mom and Dad Talks. Where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad, and we have boom. There it is. All right, everybody. A lot of tough times right now. A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are and having gone through cycles like that in my life, and you guys have gone through cycles in your life. We're going to talk about how do you handle tough times, and specifically when it comes to job loss or finding a job. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are in a tough situation, but loss of any type. How do you handle that, and how do you get through that? Because a lot of people are really sometimes this is the first time in their life they're dealing with something tough. How do you guys deal with it? Who wants to start first? Don't all speak at one time.
How do we handle tough times?
I guess what. Yeah, go ahead, Hantie.
There's lots of layers to tough times.
Mhm.
You have money problems. That's tough.
Yeah.
You have death that you're not prepared for. That's tough. Um, then sometimes when you can't be directly affiliated with your church,
Mhm.
or finding a need, the fulfillment that a church congregation should give to you, or you should get out of it.
Mhm.
That's tough. Not finding peace in your own home. That's tough. So I guess me personally, I would focus in on, I don't all if you put all those together, those being tough times. It was only through prayer that
Mhm.
I didn't fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Um, you have to find a peace within yourself
Mhm.
in order to get through tough times. Some people, maybe they go shopping. I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, some people, maybe would go to prayer meeting and just lay it all out,
Mhm.
um, before the master, uh, or call on relatives during tough times. So, as I was saying, I guess my tough times, um, having lost all of my brothers, it going through that, it makes me very thankful to have my sister.
Mm.
Um, and I forgot, to say my mother. And
Mhm.
it was a tough time for me when my dad died, and that was over 50 years ago.
Mm.
It was tough because that was a loss that I had prayed. I was thinking that my prayer was going to bring him through,
Mhm.
and I found it, not being not coming through, to
It was a devastating because the
it,
most loving
it
person
was
in the family
in my
that,
first, yeah,
that
and that
gave
was
you
my
energy.
first. I had to be real careful in being thankful,
Mhm.
because my baby was born, hours after we buried him,
Mm.
and and I just had to be thankful for that. So it was a bittersweet time. It was a tough time.
And God has that way of sending little nuggets if you just look at it, Hanty. And you just said, that nugget that he gave you of my cousin Carlin at the right time, at the right pace where you needed it the
Right.
most. You know what I'm saying? God was looking out for you. And I think,
It was his timing.
yeah, God has a way of sending you nuggets to let you know you're gonna be okay. If
Yeah.
you look, and because otherwise you can get stuck in a black hole and never get out of it.
Right. So how do you get through with tough times?
Yeah.
There's mine.
Mhm.
All right. And anybody else?
Let's see here. I am going to go back to 1970 when my husband got his third draft notice to go to the Army. Now he was in school, so he would get deferred. And the last time that he the last time that he got it, he was on his way going. I
He
believe
got on the bus.
I took
On the
him to the
bus.
bus. I took him to the bus.
On the way to
On
station 13, the last station before you go in to
well,
get sworn
well
in.
now he's gonna finish up the story. But that's the way. When I put him on that bus, I had something inside of me said. I told him, "I'll see you tonight."
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I had to think positive, even though I had to be ready for the worst part
Mm-hmm.
to happen. For him to call me and say, "Well, I'm on my way to Seattle. Just took the swear oath to go to be drafted into the United States Army." However, I did tell him, "I'll see you tonight." And then he ended up calling and explaining to me how it happened that he got rejected. So I could let him tell you the story of that
I
experience.
think we brought it up before in the
Yeah.
story, but I think the most important thing is that positive mindset,
Mhm.
right? That prayer that say, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you. You got to stay positive,
Right.
even in negative situations and when it looks dark. Because let's be real, Dad, you lost a friend in Vietnam that was in your wedding.
That's correct.
So death was real during that time. See, people don't understand. We live in a different decade. You know what I'm saying? The draft was real back then, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, a lot of young men
Mhm.
of age, and you were of age, go
Mhm.
Lost their life.
fighting age, would go fight
Right.
wars.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of poor people had to go fight.
Right.
They didn't
Right.
have a choice. But Dad, what was your how do you get through tough times from your perspective?
You know, tough times will come to test our faith.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a grounded and firm faith, you can get through those tough times. Sometimes we have tough times because of our own ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't have enough money to pay your bills
Mm-hmm.
and you go out and spend all the money that you have and not pay your bills, those tough times are a result of your ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Your ignorance. And the thing is that a lot of times we have to pray and understand, why am I having a tough time? Am I having a tough time because of my faith, my belief, or am I having a tough time because of my own ignorance?
Mm.
Not ignorant.
Hmm.
Well, if you
That's
don't
a
have
good
enough
point.
money to pay your
Is
rent,
that ignorant or is that
well, wait,
being
look at it this way. If you don't have enough money to pay your rent,
Mm-hmm.
and the little bit of money you have, you go out and splurge on going to
A
the
pair of
Yeah,
shoes.
a pair of shoes or whatever.
you just exasperated your problem by your
That's
own
right.
doing.
You are causing your own tough time.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm doing everything I can to survive and
Mm-hmm.
get through this and pray and trust in the Lord, then
Mm-hmm.
that's when the Lord intervenes.
Being a good steward of what you have.
that's
That's
right.
right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of
Don't
time,
be
and I think it's a
stupid,
great point.
and don't try to blame your tough times on someone else.
Yeah, bad times are gonna fall on everybody, and
That's right.
it just that you will get God measures just enough so that it doesn't overtake you. But if you trust Him, He's gonna
Mhm.
get you through it. And and I can speak for myself is that when I held my dead daughter in my hand, I said, God, after all of this, I did everything you asked for.
Mhm.
And this is what you give me. Sure, up
Mm.
to this day. I can still remember that moment.
Mhm.
Felt like, God, why? I did everything you asked me to do. But then God has a funny way. of giving you little nuggets
Mhm.
as you asked for, because I was in a deep time, and I know a lot of people are going through some tough times right now.
Right.
Mhm.
That little nugget to look for, and I'm glad you pointed that out, Hanty, that you're disappointed it didn't come through for you. But at the end of the day, you look for the nuggets that God gives you to hold on to that little bit of faith you have left, and it restores you. And I think that that's what you got to do when you get in tough times. You got to
Mhm.
have a relationship with God because you don't know the end from the beginning. He does.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, you got to trust God in your journey because sometimes God had to give you, sometimes your brook has to dry up for God to give you something better. And I can say every time my brook has dried up or gone to the end, I thought, God always gave me something better than I ever imagined.
Mhm.
Better.
And that's why it's so important to cherish our loved ones while we have them,
Yeah.
because those are the things that really make life worthwhile,
Yeah.
to be loved and to love other people. But it's so how do I want to say this without being political? It's so harsh when you have people that purposely misuse their loved ones
Yeah.
and they don't miss them until they're gone.
And that's the thing, folks. You know, your loved ones, your family, people who really love you, don't bite them. Don't go after them. Show more love and kindness because once they're gone,
They're
it's a
gone.
cold world out there.
Yeah.
Very cold world out there. And then
Mhm.
you got, it's very hard when God gives you comforters and you push them all away, or God removes them away because you didn't use them right, and you wish you had them back. And that's the reason why I enjoy coming back home, enjoying my moments with my Hantie and my mom and dad. I just enjoyed and soaked up every moment I could.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, because
When I,
these are the only thing you have left when they're gone.
yeah,
Those
because all you got is
special
memories after that,
moments.
and I learned something to appreciate the time you do have and make the most out of it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There are
So
several.
when you coming back?
We'll come coming back soon here. But speaking of that, everybody, I hope that everybody got encouragement. Oh, what you gonna say, Mom?
I just want to make one observation about what has happened this week of the thousands of people that lost their jobs for the government cutting them out of their jobs. And I'm trying to put myself in their place. What am I going to do? I have no job, you know? So I would say before we close that my prayer, I'm going to pray for those people who got when they get a pink slip, you
Mhm.
might say that their job is they have no jobs. That is devastating for people
Yeah, families,
who have families, who have house
obligations.
notes, who have car notes, who have obligations, and then all of a sudden they're just cut off like that.
Mhm.
It's more than meets the road.
It's
Anyhow,
tough. It's tough,
it
folks.
is.
It's hard. I don't care what environment, because you are you
Right.
going to make the same income? Your family has just been disjointed.
Mhm.
Think about the housing. Do you have enough money to pay for your housing and stuff like
They have nothing. I mean, if their jobs, they don't can't
that?
have
Yeah.
any jobs to go to because that's their living, that's their
Mhm.
livelihood, and for it to be cut off like just like that is just
And
it's
we're a Christian country, supposedly. We don't have empathy and love for one another.
Mhm. Mhm. And the person that's cutting them off is a multi-billionaire.
At the end of the day,
So sad. He does not have to worry about money.
yeah, we'll just have to pray for our friends and loved ones and everybody out there because I know some tough times out there, but pray that God gives you something better than what you had before, tenfold. And I would just wish all the best for everybody out there because it is tough. It's just a hard situation. And for people to whatever you do, you know, trust in God that He's going to give you something better, and make sure the world's better. Make sure you don't become like the very thing that you despise. That's the best thing you can do. The moment you become like the people that treat you like that, that's when they win because all they want you to do is act like them. So
Yeah.
I think it justifies it. But if you act better than them,
Mhm.
be better than them, do better, then you find yourself in a position that you treat people better.
And like you said, when you see the evil in others, that creates the evil in you.
Yeah. So
So be careful.
have, think on the positive side if you can. I know it's hard because
Yeah.
it's very, very hard when you're bitter.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
just want to encourage you guys to hang in there. And we love you. And share this with someone that may need some help here. Okay. So with that in mind, we're gonna enjoy. Hope you enjoyed Mom and Dad Talks. We love you, and keep supporting, liking, and subscribing us. Until next time, we'll see you on Mom and Dad Talks. Bye.
Bye.